All right, it is April 6th, I believe. Here's an update on the flowers out here. I should have showed you, but I just added the next bit of the netting for the middle row here after falling spectacularly over my fence. Oh, my husband's out here and he's sneezing. Basically, all I did was pound with a hammer these 6 posts into the ground. Here the soil is very easy. It's, unless there's a root, it's just sand, so it goes in. Then I did better this time by hooking the 2 ends up and keeping it rolled up. Last time I tried to cut it first and then it was all mangled up. So I saw a video on it and I'm like, that was a lot easier. So I just put the 2 ends, and I didn't quite, this netting is like 3 feet wide, so there's a little bit of overlap over here on the side. As you can see, this one fits into these little, see there's like a narrower, I think that's supposed to be the end. And I don't have 3-foot wide beds, so there's a little bit of overlap. So over here, I have to just find the tightest one to put it on, and then there's some extra, which if I had a little bit wider, it would go out, another 6 inches or whatever. So it just sort of stays. Then I slide it over the next poles, slide it over the last poles, and then I just cut it, and then I just adjusted it. And I think these are coming up nicely. These are my stock, which look like they may be, here's the stock, and there's a few Snapdragons. The rest of my Snapdragons are over here, followed by the Ami, followed by the Greatly, growing like crazy. I'm almost scared of how many Queen Anne's lace I have here. Over here is the Sweet Annie, and then there's a few dianthus in here, which I'm probably gonna plant some different things in between the holes because I need the space. And over here, I planted the celosia yesterday. I have a few celosias that I planted out. There's some bupleurum that I thought didn't come up, but I actually ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bupleurum. And in the middle here, the nigella, lots of empty holes, which I will probably put some other things in. And I also planted out some baby bachelor buttons. The big ones have been here. I direct sowed. The other ones, the little ones, I just planted yesterday. And I have more on the way, some black ones. These are all the blue. So it's coming along nicely. I actually am going to try to work on doing my 4th bed over here. I have some compost. I don't know whether I'll get it to it today. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so if I don't, maybe Sunday. I'm gonna have to just pull out a few things. There's some things in the way here on the end. I have a sprinkler, and then I have one of our mosquito things that really could be moved, but I can make, mostly a good bed here. I do have like a big root and another big root, so I'll have to try to cut those out. But I have space here for my 4th bed, which I am going to need, even though it gets a tiny bit of shade on this side over here. There's a little shade in the afternoon, but God, it's hot out here. So it's 80 degrees. It's been 80 all week. It's very warm, but next week it's going to be in the 60s and very much better for all of these plants to let them grow a little bit more before things happen. But I'm super excited. This bed is really coming along. My other one, of course, I planted later, and it's not going out. It's not as great. Lots of things are dying out there, so I'm gonna have to go out there and do a little work out here. But I'm pretty happy with the way this is coming. I don't think I'm gonna have to stake up the 3rd one. I guess it depends how big some of those things get. And I think once these are done, then I'll be pulling, like the snaps and all of these will be done, and then I can put in some more summer things that I'll be planting, like the marigolds and cosmos and scabiosa and all of that. I'm gonna keep my sunflowers in the front there. So this is the update, and I'm super excited, and I feel like we're getting close. Like there should be a lot of growth here, and that I may start to get some flowers. According to my spreadsheet, I should start getting some flowers the end of April and the beginning of May. So again, my May Day, Mother's Day is coming, so I think I need to start really now like pre-selling, or at least figuring out what I'm going to do. I've been a little like, I'm not sure what to do with these yet, because I just don't have enough to do anything with. But I think all of a sudden I'm going to have a bunch of flowers. So I'll be working a little bit on some marketing and trying to maybe get some pre-sales. I do have some people already who are like in Charleston. When I go down there for like a meeting in May, I think I'll probably take a bunch of bouquets and be able to sell them just for my friends at my networking event. And I think that'll give me some good feedback. Hey there, welcome. This morning I am just doing a quick little update of what is happening out here in the garden, and it kind of looks like there's nothing really happening, but all these plants are growing, though they're growing kind of slow, but some of them are starting to really take off, like these bachelor buttons here. The original ones that I put in are looking great. There's lots of holes where the things that I planted have died, so it's definitely a learning process. But what I'm super excited over here is that I see the first color of one of my Snapdragons. Where is it? Right there. It is the first little bud that I see, though I also see some of the stalk right behind it there. It looks like it's budding up. You can tell, see this like putting up the little shoots. And luckily it has cooled down, and it's gonna be like in the high 60s, low 70s this week, which is much better. We've had it 80 and close to 80, and it's just, I was really afraid that these Snapdragons and stock were going to just kind of bolt up, and really it was just going to be too hot for them before I got a chance to get any flowers off of these. So I'm also feeling like I'm gonna need a lot more flowers, but I'm just doing what I can and just trying to keep things flowing here. I do have some more, looks like I lost one of them down there. I do have a few more Snapdragons I can stick out here. I'm gonna go over this gate, though I really shouldn't, over the wire fence. I already fell once. These are my Sweet Annie, which I think I'm gonna end up with just a ton of, you know, once they really grow, when they can get to 4 to 5 feet, I wanna say. We'll see. I have a lot here. I absolutely adore them. And they do have little, this is like putting up a little shoot here at the top. I don't know if I hope they'll just make it because of the heat. I'm not sure. Oh my God, they smell amazing. If you just brush your hand over this, I know you can't smell, but they smell so good. And I know it doesn't look like there's that many, but they're kind of clumped up in here. And they should be great, unless they die from the heat, for some nice greenery for me. So that's really why I'm growing the Sweet Annie. It says they don't flower until the fall, and you could dry them. I've used to have clumps of dried Sweet Annie when I used to live up in North Carolina. But here's the other thing I'm super excited about. Like the hundreds of Queen Anne's lace that I put in here, that I guess I was just really liberal with my seeding, and I'm gonna have tons of these, I think. And I have to be really careful that they don't just take over the world here. But I do see some of these bigger ones in the back, you know, putting up the tall stalks. And I know from growing them last year in the front, that's when they start to kind of do their thing. Now these Amie, which I have one stuck in the middle there, the rest of those little ferny ones are the Amie, which I've never grown. So I'm just kind of waiting to see, you know, how this is gonna look. It looks like I need to raise up the netting a little bit here. Yep, it looks like I do need to raise the netting a little bit. And then what I'm trying to do is put some of the, this netting is not very tight. I didn't do a very good job with this netting. I think I'm gonna, hold on a second. I'm gonna try to fix this here because I think it needs to be, there we go, on that one. But you're really not supposed to take it off when you're in the middle of it, but I did not know what I was doing with this netting, and it's too wide for the things that I have, so that's causing a problem. But what I've got here is, see, like this dangling, I don't want those on the ground. I want to kind of keep them up. So I've been trying to thread them up when they get, you know, tall enough. to go through the little holes, and these things are constantly in the way here. I've got a couple on the edge that, you know, the seeds probably blew out or whatever. But I'm super happy and can't wait to see what those are gonna do. So everything over here on this side is looking really good. And actually all of these things out here look relatively good. There's a few fails that I had, but honestly, I'm pretty happy. I mean, the celosia that I put out here is growing nicely. It's slow and I don't have that many. This one looks like it's kind of tipping over a little bit. I don't know that I have to put the netting over here. I'm trying not to have to put the netting for everything, though I could. This is the celosia, which I think is fine. And then over here I have the buplorum, which I've never grown before and evidently is super hard to get germinated. And so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And so I'm going with that. I do have some more seeds. I guess they were supposed to be stratified first, meaning you put them in cold or get some cold first. So I put them in the fridge for a couple weeks, but then I haven't actually planted them. I don't know why. Looks like something is definitely digging because there is holes here, and that is not good because I could have had seeds in here. In fact, I have planted some more Nigella seeds and they're coming up. Like, here's some baby Nigellas along with the big ones. Here are some baby Nigellas here. And if something is digging, you know, I can't stop the squirrels from coming in here. And also my cat is getting in here. But I have some tall Nigellas in the front that are about to bloom. So I think it's kind of nice because I've got a few in the front. I have some of these medium-sized ones. And then I have these little ones. This looks like it needs to be watered too. Then I have some little baby ones that are just coming up. I know they don't like to be moved and transplanted, so I'm trying not to, you know, like, oh, every time I transplant back here, like this one's hole is empty, I pull it out and plant it and then it doesn't make it. So I'm just gonna leave everything from now. I'm not super happy with the bachelor buttons. And the ones that I have in the trays aren't even looking that great. So I'll have to, you know, I've got plenty of other things to put in right now. I've got some zinnias that can come out here. Also, I've got 2 poppies here that came up, which is interesting. It looks like I also have some, maybe another poppy here that made it. If they don't, oh, there's poppies all along here. Interesting that they're coming up now. Looks like I've got poppy all along here. Well, this one's poppy, and then there's a poppy over here. So 1 row of the champagne bubbles poppies, but it's just so warm. I don't know how it's possibly going to make it, but great if it does. And then I have this dianthus here, which didn't come out too great, but I've got a few of them. So plenty of places, things I could fit in the holes. I just, you know, it's going to get a little bit like I've got 5 of these here and 8 of these here, but I need the space, so that's probably what is going to happen, is that I've got some zinnias that are ready to come out right now, and I've only got like 10 of them or something. So I have holes here to fill. I just have to also be mindful of like tall things in the back, not shutting the sun out. That's why I've tried to do that, you know, put all the tall things kind of in the back that I thought were going to be tall. Also, I know that these stock and the Snapdragons will be pulled out, you know, in another month when they're done or whenever, and that'll free up space. And then I have my new bed over there that I haven't even planted yet. I've got space over there, so I have some things I'm hardening off now, and I'll show you actually up on the back porch. Let me go over my gate here. Faster to go over the gate, as long as you don't fall. I have a couple things up here that are actually hardening off, and they are ready to, I have a couple Snapdragons here that I planted just for myself. I have some sunflowers here, which I'm not that thrilled about. They seem like they're yellowing a little bit, which tells me they probably need some fertilizer. But, I mean, they looked okay. They could be yellowing. But look at these zinnias. They are looking fantastic. So they are ready to go. I, for some reason, thought it was a good idea to put new seeds in the places that didn't have anything. So there's some little ones in here that I may just plant out too. This one is getting a little leggy because it's hidden in there in the middle of all of this, so it's not getting the sun. So these have been outside for a couple days, and I think they're probably ready just to go in the ground. That's what I'm saying. I don't have that many, but I can put a few here and a few there. The sunflowers will go in the front, and especially now that I have that fencing in the front. So I need to put some more sunflowers in there because a lot of them got eaten by the rabbits.